thing. Eeny, meeny, money, more. I catch a whore, I got her toe. And if you wanna let her go, you gotta see this chopper blow. I run this shit just like a game, I can't stop now. I got the film, I just can't hang around all your lame. Just last week I just fucked your dame. Stack another guap, let the body.
What's going on, everybody? Just to the end, and I know I haven't posted in a while. I've been busy. It's crazy. I'm sorry. I apologize. All that good stuff. I'll explain that later. But The Witcher has just dropped, and this is going to be me hyped up. I'm about to watch it right now. Not gonna make a reaction because I ain't got that kind of time or space and other technical things that are on the side that I can't really get into right now. But in a few seconds, you guys will see me. Well, a few seconds for you guys, maybe like an hour and a half for me. I will be recording my initial reaction and review on the first episode. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record my review after each episode and like a quick like prediction on what I think is gonna happen based on what I know about The Witcher, on the books, the series, even the video games that I've played. So if you have read the Witcher books, keep spoilers out of the comment section, and if you have seen the whole series, keep spoilers out of the comment section as well, because we are only covering the first episode in this video and in subsequent videos to come. So without further ado, enjoy my reaction. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it starts in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. So episode 1, the end's beginning. It starts off right off the bat with Henry Cavill's Geralt of Rivia basically being a badass. It starts off with him in a swamp. And the name of the world in this story is called the Continent. It's not really called that, but basically it starts with him fighting the spider creature from It, basically. And it's him in his Witcher form with his eyes rolled back, it's all black and shit like that. And basically starts off with Geralt of Rivia. He is he's killing this monster called a Kikimora, which is the spider thing. He was asked to kill it by the local alderman, who's basically like a local lord of the place. Doesn't have that much power, but whatever. And anyways, he brings the creature, part of the creature, poof, he killed the creature, into town on his horse called Roach. And we get some sense of how people in this world treat Witchers, basically. He walks into the town, he walks into the local bar, restaurant, diner type thing, local inn. He asks people for directions, and this girl starts to, give him directions, but then people start talking shit like, oh, we don't want your kind here, Witcher, get to stepping, get to leaving, whatever, we don't want your kind, blah, 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 all that stupid bullshit. And you get the sense that he's about to kill these niggas, but like, he doesn't, because this girl stops them. This girl named Renfri. We later find out that she's a princess from somewhere. Doesn't really define. Now, full disclosure, I read all the books. I know all this, but I'm going to act ignorant for all you guys. So basically, Geralt meets Renfri for the first time. She kind of like gives him a little talking to. They flirt a little bit, and then Geralt ends up leaving because he ends up leaving the pub and interacting with this little girl who is supposed to be the daughter of the alderman, the local lord, and tells him about this wizard, and takes him to the wizard's place where he supposedly will get paid to buy better clothes for himself. He enters the tower. Turns out the wizard is just another wizard named Stregoborn, who is impersonating the real wizard. And so what he did is that he ended up killing all these women because he thought they were evil witches and they were going to bring about the end of the world, all that stuff. And Renfri was born during an eclipse, so he was after her, but she survived his purge. And so he's asking Geralt to take her out because, oh, she's evil, she's a monster, she's a witch, all this blah, 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 blah. All this, what's it called? Not stereotypical. This superstitious bullshit. And Geralt is kind of like, yo, I'm not picking sides. He said, "Oh, Struggle has this line where he's like, "Oh, it's the lesser evil," and Geralt's like, "Yo, I'm not in this. This does not concern me. I'ma head out. All right, I'ma head out." So that's Geralt's side. Before we continue with Geralt's storyline, we're gonna start talking about the other storyline going on the other side of the continent, I guess. We go to, oh, by the way, the town that Geralt is in is called Blaviken. So keep that in mind, all you book readers, and I think you game readers. I don't remember if they address this, but we'll get to that. We'll get to why he's called the Butcher of Blaviken in a second. So, moving on to that, we transition to one of the other locations of this season so far, is this town called Cintra. Well, not the town, but a city called Cintra, and they're about to go to war with Nilfgaard, who has the largest army all over the continent, which is the name of the world of The Witcher. It's called the continent. It's not called any other thing. It is called the continent, and that's it. There's different cities and towns and kingdoms in the continent, but it's all called the continent. Anyway, so it centers around this girl named Cirilla and her grandmother and her father, I believe. And, they're kind of having like this knighting ceremony. They're the father and the daughter, Cirilla, she's, they're having like this little back and forth whispering, and they're laughing a little bit. And the grandmother, who's the queen, she's kind of like, "Yo, can y'all be quiet? I'm trying to do this royalty thing," which is actually your job, kid, but, whatever. That kind of thing. And, they got a little back and forth. It's a little fun thing. You get the sense that Cirilla is like, she doesn't really like all the royalty type stuff. She just wants to be a kid. And she likes doing kid stuff. But she also likes to be involved in the political intrigue of ruling and stuff like that. But she doesn't understand why everyone's basically protecting her and shielding her from the outside world, blah, 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 blah. And like always like keeping her out of the loop of whatever. Keep bearing in mind she is a kid and she's pretty young, but as she stated, she was like, "You were only my age." She was telling her grandmother that she was only her age, a child, when they had their first army, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So she's like, "Why are you guys treating me like I'm a kid?" When she's probably like 13 or something, whatever. Back in those days, that was kind of old age, I guess. Whatever. Anyway, so moving on to that, their storyline progresses. They had this little ballroom thing, this little dance, this little feast, and in the background we have the grandmother and her son talking about how they have plans to defend themselves and to prepare against Nilfgaard, who will probably invade them soon, because that's what Nilfgaard is doing. They're just going around invading and conquering all the different surrounding nations because they have the largest army. So it's like, hey, why not? So there's that. Back to Geralt. He goes to the woods. He's about to leave Blaviken because he's like, I bumped this. I'm out. And he starts talking to his horse. He starts preparing like something. And then that's when Renfri, who we find out is a princess, she starts talking about him. She starts talking to him. And there basically she figures out that Stregobor asked Geralt to kill her. And now she's asking Geralt to kill Stregobor because Stregobor basically took everything away from her, and we find out that she's the one telling the truth instead of Stregobor, obviously. So Renfri's like, "Hey, I used to be a princess, but Stregobor's man, he raped me and he tried to kill me, but I killed him first with my mother's piece of jewelry." And basically Stregobor was painting her in the bad light when she was really just a victim in all this. But she harbors so much hatred for him. And we do get a little sense for magic in this world here and there from Renfri, from Geralt, and from one of the loyal members of the household of Cirilla's family back in Cintra. She seduces him basically. They start doing their little lovey thing, and he's knocked out. And she leaves little not Easter eggs, but like little lines of dialogue that she says kind of points to him realizing that, oh my god, she's not actually going to skip town as he thought that he convinced her to. Then she's actually going to go into town and start like killing people until Stregobor shows himself. So in order to protect the town of Blaviken, Geralt rushes off and he enters the town and he ends up having to fight with The choreography, bro. Let's talk about the choreography for a second there. I want to know who's the one in charge of the choreography and like the fighting scenes and all that stuff, because just amazing. It was just amazing. The fight between Geralt and Renfri, and Geralt and all his men, and all of Renfri's men is just phenomenal. Just phenomenal and amazing. But anyways, back to it. So he ends up taking out Renfri's men, and then Renfri's like, I'm gonna start killing all these people here until Stregobor shows himself, and you kill Stregobor. Now, Geralt refuses to do that because, you know, he's a pretty decent guy that we find out. So he ends up fighting Renfri. He ends up killing Renfri in order to save the people of the town. Stregobor shows up and is like, let's take the body. And then he's like, no, don't touch her. Leave her alone. You're an asshole. Fuck off. But then Stregobor is like, hey, oh my god, look what you did. You killed all these people. And the people of the town, who already are mistrustful of him, they end up turning on him, start throwing rocks at him, stoning him, and that's where he gains the title of the Butcher of Blaviken, because the people think that he went crazy, started killing a bunch of people for no reason, when in reality, he was just trying to save their asses, which is a very common misconception among people. Now, that's the end of Geralt's storyline, pretty much, for, you know, this first episode. Now you move on to Cirilla. Long story short, the army of Nilfgaard ends up taking out the army of Sintra because they were not as prepared as they could have been, because the army of Nilfgaard ended up coming early and fucking things up. So they ended up losing Cirilla's grandmother, who was played by the actress who played Maggie the Frog. I don't remember they gave her a name. We're just going to call her Maggie the Frog because that's where she's known from, Game of Thrones, Maggie the Frog. So for now, we're going to call her Maggie the Frog until we get her name. Which doesn't really matter because she ended up dying. Spoiler alert. So yeah, she ended up coming back to the palace, and they tried to, you know, do a last line of defense and all that stuff, but it ended up failing. So Cirilla's grandmother, Maggie, she ended up sending her daughter away. He's like, yo, you're the last in line. You're the princess. You're gonna rule here one day. So let's send you away for your safety, because Nilfgaard takes no prisoners. They take no prisoners. So they end up killing everyone in the city. Men, women, children, maybe even the horses, maybe even the dogs. Say the dogs. You know, all that stuff. So, of course, Cirilla's father died in the battle because he was semi-irrelevant. But yeah, that happened. Maggie ended up killing herself because she didn't want to get killed. All of the noblemen in there, they ended up killing themselves as well in a mass suicide to, you know, save themselves from getting, you know, killed in gratuitous fashion. Yeah, that's pretty much the storyline for Cirilla. She ends up escaping. We do see little inklings of her magical powers whenever she's screaming and she's in a state of panic. Things start shaking and breaking around her. So there was this soldier chasing after her, and she ended up making this giant hole in the ground that he couldn't cross, and she ended up running into the woods. What really was cool was that the lines of dialogue from Princess Renfri, she kind of stated that, oh, the girl from the woods will be your destiny. There's a lot of destiny talking here. But yeah, the girl in your dream in the woods will be your destiny. She was referring to herself, but it also transitions to Princess Cirilla, who her grandmother actually told her to go find Geralt of Rivia. He will be your destiny. So there's a lot of talk about destiny. We kind of get a sense that Cirilla is part of Geralt's destiny, and Geralt is part of Cirilla's destiny, and all that kind of cool stuff. So definitely like this first pilot episode. Very excited to see the rest of the episodes of the season. And yeah, that's pretty much my recap for it. In my opinion, it was great. The acting was amazing. The music was amazing. The cinematography was amazing. The choreography was amazing. You can tell that Netflix spent a lot of money trying to get this production down. Definitely got that movie quality to it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. I liked it. Can't wait to see more. And yeah, but let me know about you guys. Did you enjoy this did you enjoy this episode? And have you seen the full season already? If you have, stick with me. I'm sorry for all the recaps and all that stuff and all the reviews. This is just, I'm just giving my opinion on it. That's it. But yeah, post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought. If you enjoyed my review, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. If you did not, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But you can hit the like button, subscribe, and share anyways. And let me know how I can improve for you guys. Again, I apologize for not being on for a while. A lot of things going on in the background of life, you know, that kind of thing. But I definitely promise to be on here more and more, especially for The Witcher. Gotta do that for you guys, because I promised, you know, I promised I'd watch it for you guys. So I'm dropping this first episode, and now I'm gonna go watch episode 2 because I got no life, and now I got Netflix. So yeah, expect the episode 2 recap. I don't want to give a date, but in the coming few days, won't let you guys wait too long for that. But yeah. If you would like to support the channel, you can definitely do so by heading over to patreon.com/joy-to-the-end, and that's where you will find some exclusive content that I am, you know, working on. Haven't really worked out everything that I want to do yet, but there are things coming up. So if you would like to support the channel, definitely can do so at patreon.com/joy-to-the-end, and also you can follow me on Twitch. I am currently streaming Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, so that's pretty cool. First video is up currently, so you can go ahead and check that out. Twitch.tv/joy-to-the-end, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next review or reaction, or I'll just see you guys in the next video. Boom.
Niggas be bugging, nickname is Downer cause these niggas decking. Got 14 days, my nigga, a fortnight. Guns that you blasting only on Fortnite. Chopper gon' grind you niggas like port runs. Ho call me Batman, nigga, the Dark Knight.